Welcome back. Now we'll see the modify commands or modify tools available in AutoCAD. This is most important because while preparing any drawing, we'll have to use this very often. There are a number of modify tools or commands which will help us in preparing the drawing in a faster manner. And some of the editing tools or modified tools we have already used. For example, like deleting an object or deleting an entity. We had already used that one, and you might have seen that for using a modify command we need to select an entity. The modification or the editing is done on a particular entity, so selection of the right entity is important. We have various options for selection in AutoCAD. The detailed selection methods we'll be discussing later, but to have an idea on selection, one or two important selection methods I'll be discussing now. Then we'll be going to the modify commands. Okay, we require some objects or entities in the screen, so I'm drawing a couple of entities here. Say one circle. Let's have one more circle here. Then line. Okay, I'll start from here. This, and then I close it. And I'll have two rectangles. One here, maybe one here. We'll have some two axis ellipse also, like one ellipse here, maybe one polyline. Have an arc, polyline, again one arc, going to line. Okay, so we have few entities or objects in our drawing. For selecting a particular object or entity, just want to go and click on that particular entity. See, when I click this circle is selected. So that I am going to this rectangle and I'm clicking on the rectangle, so that is selected. And you can see by default in AutoCAD the selection is in add mode. It is whenever you go and click on any of the entities on the screen, that will be added to the selection set. Normally in other Windows application, when you select one object and when we go and select another object, the initial object will not be added to the selection set, or it will be removed from the selection set. But that is not the case in AutoCAD. In AutoCAD, when you go and select new objects, it will be added to the selection set. So you can also see, like when I'm going and placing my cursor near to the object or on the object, you can see a small plus sign above the cursor. That plus sign indicates that we are going to add this object to the selection set. So like this, we can include any number of objects in our selection set. And see that this I have drawn with lines, so these individual segments are separate entities or separate objects, so I can include any number of objects in my selection set. Now if you want to remove something from your selection set, then you need to hold this shift and then come near to the or select the object what you want to remove from your selection set. Also you can see a minus sign instead of plus sign near to the cursor or near to the crosshair, which indicates that if I click this one, that this object will be removed from my selection set. So you can see that like segmentation. Suppose if I want to remove this ellipse from my selection set, I'm holding shift and coming here and press select that one, then that is removed from the selection set. Okay, this is the basic selection method. That is when you can select by going and clicking on anywhere on the object, and by default if you select new objects, it will be included or added to the selection set, and if you want to remove anything from the selection set, then you will have to hold shift key and then go and select the object. And if you want to select more objects at a time, we have something called windowing or window. That is, you can go and click anywhere on the screen, and when after releasing the mouse button, and if you are like moving your mouse, you can see that a rectangle will be formed, and wherever I want to complete my selection, I can go and click there. In this particular case, you can see that all the objects which is inside that rectangle will be selected. Okay, I repeat it again and removing the selection set. See, I'm starting my rectangle from this point, and I'm moving to this one, to this particular point. Okay, now you can see that there are two objects which is completely inside the circle, that is inside the rectangle, that is the circle and ellipse. So if I click here, these two objects will be included in my selection set. Okay, so this is actually called window. So whatever entities or objects which are completely inside the window, that will be selected. And one more thing you can notice, like now you can see that I have started my window starting from left, then moving to right. Now what happens if I move from right to left? So first point I'm clicking here, then I'm moving to left side and clicking here. Also you can notice the color difference in the shaded area of the window. Initially we have seen blue, now it is green. So when this is the window is showing green color, we normally call it as crossing. In the case of crossing, you might have already noticed some difference in the case of crossing. So in the case of crossing, what AutoCAD does is, all the entities or objects which are inside the, which are fully or partially inside your crossing window will be selected. I repeat, or I'll do it again. See, I'm going to start my crossing from here and maybe to somewhere here. So I'm just starting my clicking here. Now you can see, except this particular line, all other things are either partially or fully inside my crossing window. So all these items will be selected, right? See, all the items are selected except this particular line, because this was completely outside. No part of this line was inside my crossing window. So this is a very important aspect, and we normally call this as implied windowing. We have windowing as well as crossing, depending upon from where we start our selection window. So if you start your selection window from the left hand side, and if you move to the right hand side, then this is window. That means all the elements which is completely inside this one will be selected. Whereas if you move your mouse from right side to left side, you can see it is highlighted by green color, and all the entities which is partially or fully inside my window will be selected. Okay, so this by this method we can select like a number of entities together. Although we have other selection methods also, which we may discuss in due course of time, or you can see the various options below. see fence, W polygon, C polygon, and all those things. Those methods are also available for selecting, and we'll not be discussing that right now. We'll keep it for pending. Okay, so now we have seen like the simple selection method, that is just by going and clicking on the object, and if you want to add more objects to your selection list, you can continue clicking on new objects, and by default the selection is additive mode, or you can say the whatever objects we are going to select, that will be added to the selection set. And if you want to remove something from the selection set, you need to hold shift and then go and select the object. Okay, then we have seen two other things also, that is windowing and crossing. Window means we'll be starting our rectangle from, or the selection window from left hand side to right hand side, so that all the objects which is completely inside the window will be selected. Whereas if you start your window from right hand side to left hand side, it is called crossing, and all the objects which is completely or partially inside the window will be selected. So these are some few things related to selection. Okay, now we will go to modify comments, and one of the comments which we have already used is this erase or delete. You can see the button here, the toolbar button here. So if you keep your mouse over there, you can see that is erase and removes the object from the drawing. So erase command removes the object from the drawing. And for erasing, the simplest way is you can just select the object you want to erase and then press the delete button on your keyboard, or you can go and click this toolbar icon here, or alternatively you can type erase. So here what I have done is, I have selected all the objects, then I type the command erase, so that all those objects are erased. I don't want to completely remove it, so I'm doing an undo option, so that it will come back. Now here what we have seen, we have initially selected the object or the entities which we want to remove, or which we want to delete, or which we want to erase. Then I did type the command. Okay, so the selection was done first, then we typed in the comment. Okay, again I'll show. I'm selecting 1, 2, 3 element, then I'm just going and clicking the erase button, so it is removed. Okay, so and another option is you can start the command first. See here, I'm starting the command first, then you can see in the command line, the erase command has been it shows the erase command, and it is asking us to select the object. So in this particular case, you can go and select the objects which you want to erase. You can see a X also there, a small cross. So whatever entities you want to remove or you want to erase, you can go and select that one by either by a window like this, or by crossing, or by going and selecting the individual objects. And once you complete the selection, you need to press enter to intimate AutoCAD that you have done with your selection. So all the objects which you have selected will be removed from the drawing. Okay, we'll do no control C. So hope you understood the process of erasing, and it is very simple, like there is nothing to discuss. But here one important thing is, like for majority of the modified tools or modified comments, you can select the object first, then start the comment, or alternatively you can start the comment, then you can select the objects for which this editing tools has to be applied. Okay. There are certain variations which will be coming in certain cases. Those things we'll discuss when we discuss that particular editing tool. So this is about erase tool, which you already might have been used earlier, right? Okay, I'll just pause. So we have already seen the erase command, or we can even use that for delete command. This is for removing the object from your drawing, and it removes the object, the entity completely. Okay, now we'll see two more commands which are almost similar. In fact, three are similar, out of which two we'll be discussing. It is move and copy. Sometimes you may want to move some of the entities what you have drawn in your screen to certain other locations. For example, I want to move this circle from here to here in such a manner that the center of this circle, which is this point right now, has to be this particular point. Okay, so for that one we can use the move command, and you can see it is the first command what we are seeing here. So we'll start like giving the command first. So when I click here, or when I type move and press enter, you can see that AutoCAD will ask us to select the object, because we haven't selected any object prior to giving the command. So we have started the command first. So AutoCAD will ask us to select the object. So you can go and select the object if you want. If you want more than one object, you can select more than one object also, but just now I want just this circle to be moved. So so in order to complete my selection, I like to press enter. Now the move process is on. Now the AutoCAD by default, it will be asking the base point. And also we have one more option, displacement, and the default method here is displacement. I will discuss default after discussing this base point and second point method. So here base point means, see, if I want to move this circle from here to here, I already mentioned that I want this center to be at this particular endpoint. So this center is taken as the base point, and the second point will be taken as here, because see, this circle can be moved here in different ways, or when it can be moved there by keeping this quadrant, this point at here, or maybe in some other different way. So what AutoCAD want is the base point. So I'm just clicking the center as my base point. Okay, so I got that. Now you can see that the circle is coming along with me. Oh, okay, sorry, I have this ortho mode on. That is why it is coming only horizontal or only vertical. So if you want to move only horizontally or vertically, you can use this ortho mode. So I'm going to make this ortho mode off. Okay, now you can see that my this circle is coming along with my cursor, holding it at the base point. And you can see in the command line, it is asking for the second point, and the other the option also as first point displacement also. So the displacement we'll discuss later. So suppose if I want to move it to here, then I can go and click so that now the object is moved from here with the center, which was here, it has been moved to here. Okay, so this is about moving. Suppose if I want to move this what is that, this rectangle in the similar way, maybe this particular point as here, then I can use the here. I'll do one thing. I'll select the object first, then I will type the command move. So in that particular case, you can see that we don't need to say to AutoCAD that my selection is completed, because we have already selected the object which we want to move. So AutoCAD will understand that we just want to move the objects which we have already selected. Okay, now again it is asking the base point, so I'm giving this as my base point, and you can see that the object is coming with me with that base point as the anchor or something like that. And wherever we want to go, you can just go and click on that particular position, so it reaches, it will be moved to that particular location. So this is about the default option of move, that is moving an object by giving the base point and second point. One thing which we like to notice is that the base point need not be on the object. It can be in anywhere. For example, like I'm again using move command, I'm selecting this particular object, then I'm giving this as my base point. Now you can see how the object, or again the ortho is made on, I'm just making it off. Okay, now you can see that with this as my base point, it is asking you to select the second point. So wherever you want, you can select that one. Okay, again I'm undoing that one. Okay, I'm making auto. So this is the default option for moving. That is, you can move an object by giving a base point and second point. So here you can select the object first, then give the comment, or alternatively you can give the comment first, then go and select all the objects which you want to move, then you can press enter to intimate AutoCAD that you have completed your selection. Then it lost the base point, then it lost the second point, so that the options are completed. Now in the move option, you might have already noticed that there is one more option in move command, that is displacement. Displacement, in the case of displacement, you don't need to give the base point and the second point. Only thing is, you need to give a distance, maybe in x direction and y direction, like x comma y, wherein all the points in this particular entity will be moved to that particular. So for example, suppose if I want to move this rectangle, say 200 units in x direction and 100 units in y direction. So this length of this line is actually 200 units, and length of this vertical line is 100 units. So if you want to move this rectangle in x direction 200 units and y direction 200 units, so ultimately it will be something like having this as the base point, and this base point will become 0, right? Every corresponding point will be moved this 200 comma 100. Okay, so for that, like again I'm selecting the object first because I just want to move one object. Then I'll type the move command, right? So either you can click here to select the displacement, or alternatively you can type the distance which you want to move, or the displacement you need to move, that is 200 comma 100, and press enter. And you need to press the enter once more. You need to press enter once more, because when I give this 200 comma 100, AutoCAD is trying to understand that we are given the first point, and AutoCAD is trying to or asking you the second point. But if you press enter without giving in any value, AutoCAD will understand that you are, whatever you are given is a displacement. Okay, so that is about displacement, that is moving by giving displacement. So for move option, you whatever there are two methods, like that is, one is by giving the base point and second point. The next one is by giving displacement. So depending upon the details what you are having, you can use any of these options for moving an object. Now if you see copy, it resembles move, or like it is almost the same thing, because in move we are actually moving an object. So the object will not be present in the current location, it will be present in the new location. Whereas in the case of copy, the original object is retained, and a copy of this will be kept at the new locations. So whatever you have seen in move, or whatever options you have seen in move, that is applicable for copy also. So here I'm starting the copy command, and you can see the copy command is displayed here, and it is asking me to select the objects. So I'm selecting the objects which I want to copy. Then to complete the selection, I'm pressing this enter key. So AutoCAD understands that your selection is completed. Okay, now if you look into the command line, you can see the same option. AutoCAD is asking the same thing like move command, that is specify the base point, and we also have this displacement thing here, and also one more option we have here, that is mode. And if you see the line above that one, now you can see the current mode, you can see that copy mode is multiple. Okay, so the mode I will discuss after completing this portion, that is the base point and second point method. So like in the earlier case, that is similar to our move command, you will have to select the base point. Okay, this time I will select this quadrant as my base point, and as I don't have my quadrant object snap made on, but I want to use this quadrant object snap, so what I can do is I can just type QUA, which means I want to intimate to AutoCAD, or I mean instruct the AutoCAD that the base point is on the quadrant of this circle. So now we can see when I'm moving into the circle, you can see the quadrant is highlighted. So I'm selecting this quadrant as my base point. Now my circle or my object is coming with me, and wherever I want to go, I can go and place that object. Now I have placed it in two locations, and you can see that the copy is not completed within one location. Like it is asking you for the new second point. So initially we need to give one base point, then it will ask for the second point, again another second point, and wherever you want to keep your circle or your entity, you can do it in this particular way. Okay, I'm doing that one. Okay, now this multiple option we have got because for copy, when you have seen that this mode here is multiple. See, if you click this mode, or if you take this mode option, which you can take by typing O and press enter, you can see there are two things here, single and multiple, and by default this multiple option is on. And if you want to copy only for a single time, you can use this single option. Okay? So that is about mode. And the other option is displacement, which we have already seen in the case of move. So you can try the same method here. The same procedure what we have used for move is applicable to copy also. So all these things are similar, like what I have mentioned earlier. The only difference between move and copy is, in the case of move, the original object is deleted, so we'll have the entity only at the position where we kept the object afresh. But in the case of copy, the original objects is retained, and we'll have copies of the original objects at the various locations what we have indicated as the second point. So that is about move and copy. So we'll stop here for the time being. We'll discuss other modify comments in the next lectures. Okay, thank you.